Hey guys, Mr. Fowler here. Hey, welcome to class. First of all, today we're going to be looking at our first lesson of the year. Guys, the first time we've done anything really like this, so just kind of be patient with me, patient with yourself, pay attention, pause the video as many times as you need to, go back and look at things. That's kind of the beauty of this whole flipped classroom thing, is that you can go back and rewatch the lesson, watch parts of the lesson, look at as many times as you can. You can also ask questions. You can send me questions through email. You can send me questions through the comments section of Google Classroom. Whenever you come into class, those of you that are doing the hybrid version, you can ask me. Those of you that are doing fully virtual, I'll try to do some live sessions by the end of the week so that you can just ask me questions through like a Google Meet. All right, if you're ready, let's go ahead and get started. Make sure that you have some paper and pencil. If you want to, you can even go ahead and I'll pause the video for just a second and you can get paper, pencil. If you have the ability, you can print off the worksheet, the Module 1 worksheet, Basic Unit Conversions. That way you kind of got everything right there as we move through here. All right, so I'll pause the video now so that you can do. All right, so welcome back, guys. Okay, what we're looking at here is the PowerPoint for the lesson. All right, this is Algebra 1, Module 1, Lesson 1, Basic Unit Conversions. Okay. All right, so whenever you come into the lesson, you'll see a couple of things. First of all, one of the very first slides is going to be the standard and essential question. Here's the standard. That's for my principals, assistant principals, so that they can make sure that my lessons are meeting the state standards. Nothing you have to worry about. Down here at the bottom in the yellow, that is the essential question. How do I choose and interpret units of measure in context? Don't stress about that. That's just something to kind of keep in the back of your mind. By the end of this lesson and the unit, that should be the things that we're thinking about, possibly be able to answer. All right, learning and language objective. Learning objective, student will be able to convert units of measure using their understanding of ratios and dimensional analysis. All right, ratios are just fractions, numerator, denominator. Dimensional analysis, that is the unit conversion that we'll be looking at. The language objective, student will be able to explain verbally or in writing the picket fence method. The language objective is just for people who maybe struggle with reading and writing, or maybe English is their second language. So that's what the language objective is for. The learning objective is the main thing that we're going to focus on. Basic units of measure. All right, we have two different categories here. We have the English measurement, which is what we use here in the United States, and we have the metric measurement, which is pretty much used everywhere else in the world. The English measurement for length is the inch, foot, yard, and mile. The English measurement for weight is the ounce, pound, and ton. The English measurement for volume, which is liquid, is going to be fluid ounce, cup, pint, quart, and gallon. Metric measurement is the measurement method used by pretty much everybody else in the world. The basic unit of measure for length is the meter. The basic unit of measure for weight is the gram. And the basic unit of measure for volume is the liter. All right, if you look down here at the bottom, we see this little stair-step method here. Here's the basic unit. That's going to be your meter, gram, and liter. As we move to the left, the units get larger. As we move to the right, they get smaller. Deca is 10 of the base unit, so 10 meters, 10 grams. Hecto is 100 of the base unit, and then kilo is 1,000 of the base unit. Deci is going to be 1/10 of the base unit. Centi is 100th of the base unit, and milli is 1,000th of a base unit. So it would take 10 decimeters to make a meter. It would take 100 centigrams to make a gram. It would take 1,000 milliliters to make a liter. So these are the smaller, these are the larger. All right, so the principle behind unit conversion. You can multiply or divide anything by 1 without changing the physical meaning. Anytime you put two things that are equal to each other, in this case, we know that 1,000 grams makes 1 kilogram. Remember, kilo means 1,000. If we put one on top and one on bottom, it's the same thing. So 1,000 grams over 1 kilogram is the same thing as saying 1,000 grams over 1,000 grams, or 1 kilogram over 1 kilogram. Whenever I divide here, 1 divided by 1 is 1, or 1,000 divided by 1,000 is 1. So they cancel out or reduce out and become 1. All equalities are equal to 1. 1 kilometer is equal to 1,000 meters. We know those two are equal to each other. It doesn't matter which one I put on top. 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer or 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. It's still equal to 1. All right, we're going to talk about the picket fence method. This is what you're going to be using in your assignments as we go through our unit conversions. You want to use the conversion factor that allows units to cancel out. So once again, if I look up here, I'm trying to convert 25 kilometers to meters. All right, so I've got to choose between 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer or 1 kilometer over 1,000 meters. Does it matter? Well, it does matter which one I choose. I just got to make sure I get it right. So whenever I'm doing this picket fence method, all right, I want to set this image up that you see here. All right, if you think about a picket fence, it's got its horizontal slats, and then it's got the vertical poles or posts that make up the fence. All right, on the left side of the post of the picket fence, we're going to give the unit of measure that's been given to us. In this case, that's going to be the 25 kilometers. On the right side of the picket fence or the post, we're going to do what we want, what unit of measure we're trying to convert it to, over what unit of measure has been given to us. And what's going to happen is the unit that's been given is going to cancel or reduce out, and we're going to be left with the unit that we want. All right, so same example. All right, we're just actually going to work this one. Convert 25 kilometers to meters. Use the conversion factor that allows units to cancel. Well, if we think about it, they've given us 25 kilometers. So that's going to be on the top of the left side of the post. So we need the kilometers to be on the bottom on the right side of the post. So here's my image. There's the picket fence. You see the post there. All right, so let's fill this in. We have the 25 kilometers, which was given to us, upper left. We're going to use the conversion factor, 1,000 meters over 1 kilometer. The 1,000 meters goes on top. The 1 kilometer goes on the bottom. Once again, the reason we do this, all right, is so that the kilometers will reduce out. I put a 1 here because we can take any whole number and change it into a fraction by putting it over 1. You don't have to do this, just helps some people visualize. All right, so once again, we have the kilometers on top, kilometers on the bottom. We're multiplying and dividing by the same thing. So those are going to cancel or reduce out. So kilometers are gone. Now all I have to do is multiply straight across. So 25 times 1,000, and then 1 times 1. That's the reason I put the 1 down here. So we get 25,000 meters, because remember the m's still left, the meters are left, over 1. So that's my final answer, 25,000 meters. Given 25 kilometers, conversion factor, and I get what I want. The first one we're going to look at here is convert 65 inches to feet. Convert 65 inches to feet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pause the video, give you a second to try this one. Don't hesitate. Don't be worried about getting it wrong. I just want you to try it. When we come back together, I'll show you how it's worked. Okay, welcome back, guys. Let's talk about this problem. By now, you should have had a chance to try it out. We're going to see how you did. First of all, let's identify what they've given us. They've given us 65 inches. They want us to convert it to feet. So let's draw our picket fence. They have given us 65 inches. So that's going to be on the left side of the post. Here's my post. They want us to convert it to feet. So I need to think about a conversion factor or a ratio that has feet and inches. If I look up here at the top, it's these two. This one's got feet and yard. This has got feet and mile. This one's got feet and inches. So this is what we're looking for. I have to choose which one is the appropriate one to use. So I looked back down here. Inches is on the top left. So I need inches to be on the bottom right. So this is going to be the one that I use. So I'm going to do 1 foot is equal to 12 inches. Once again, the reason we do that is because by having inches on top and on bottom, we're multiplying and dividing by the same thing. So the inches will reduce out. All right. Now we just multiply straight across the top. 65 times 1. That's 65 feet divided by 12. The inches are gone. The only measurement left is feet. And then you get the 65 divided by 12. You can do this by paper, long division, whatever. You can use your calculator. So 65 divided by 12. And we get 5.41666666. All right, we're going to round it to the nearest tenth. So we're going to say 5.4. 5.4. So 65 divided by 12 is 5.4, and that's going to be feet. And there's my answer. I'll put a box around it or circle it. Let's look at one more in this section. This one's going to take just a little bit more. Let's look at this one, number 4. Convert 32 yards to inches. So let's think about what's given to us. 32 yards is given, and they want us to find it in inches. So we'll make our picket fence. All right, I'm going to pause the video right here and give you a chance to try it. Okay, welcome back. We have 32 yards. We need to convert it to inches. Well, if we look back up at the top and think about it, we don't have one that goes from yards to inches. But we do have one that goes from feet to inches. And we have one that goes from feet to yards. So this one's actually going to make a longer picket fence. So let's talk about the first thing that we have. We know, if we choose correctly, we know that there are 3 feet in 1 yard. 3 feet in 1 yard. That can be seen up there at the top in our table. Well, what happens here? The yards reduce out. All that's left is the feet. Once again, that's not what we need. We need it to be inches. So we need to do one more fence post. Okay. Now we know that for every 1 foot, there's 12 inches. Once again, we're multiplying by feet. Feet are on top, feet are on bottom. So now when I multiply across, I get 32 times 3 times 12 divided by 1 times 1. Okay, we can use our calculator here. Let's clear it out. So we're going to have 32 times 3 times 12. 1,152. 1,152. So that is going to be, forgot to write my inches here, 1,152 inches. That would be my answer. All right, let's look at one more problem. Let's scroll all the way to the bottom. Let's look at one in metric, just so I say I covered metric. Convert 235 millimeters to centimeters. Okay, I'll pause the video and let you try this one. All right, guys, welcome back. Let's talk about what's been given to us and what we want. All right, the 235 millimeters has been given to us, and they want us to convert it to centimeters. So once again, we'll set up our picket fence. 235 millimeters has been given. All right, they want us to convert it over to centimeters. So this is what we want, centimeters. Well, how many millimeters make up a centimeter? Well, remember, if you remember, all these are a power of 10. So it's going to be 10 millimeters. The millimeters will reduce out, so those are gone. Multiply straight across, we get 235 centimeters is the only thing left over, divided by 10. So we get 23.5 centimeters. There's my final answer. Box it or circle it in. So you have 18 problems on this worksheet. I've done 3. That brings you down to 15. You need to complete those 15 problems for homework. Once you've completed them, make sure you read the directions on how to submit the assignment. All right, thanks, guys.